A TikTok user known as KittyK38Backup posted a video to their account featuring home security camera footage, seemingly filmed in the middle of the day while the uploader was outside in the garden. At first, everything looks perfectly normal. But it doesn't take long before this ordinary scene takes a disturbingly dark turn.
Han? Han?
In the footage, a chair holding two dolls can be seen tipping back onto its rear legs, balancing unnaturally, as though being lifted by an invisible force. It holds there, defying explanation. This also explains why, moments later, the man in the video walks back into the room looking completely stunned at what he finds. At first glance, it almost resembles the motion of a rocking chair. But when you watch more closely, it becomes clear that this isn't a rocking chair at all, and it should not be able to tilt and balance in that way. Sadly, not much else is known about the origins of the video, leaving only speculation. But one thing is certain: the footage is deeply unsettling. If you didn't already have a fear of dolls before watching this clip, chances are you will now. Dolls tipping chairs on their own is disturbing enough, but sometimes it isn't inanimate objects that sense the unseen. Sometimes it's animals, reacting to things their owners can't see at all. And that's exactly what happened in the next clip. Francisco Gonzalez published this video to his YouTube channel on January 24th, 2017. At first, everything seems perfectly normal. He's simply recording his dogs playing in the yard. But after a few seconds, their behavior suddenly shifts. One of the dogs begins leaping into the air, snapping at something invisible. Then the other dog does the exact same thing. Both continue this strange behavior, as if reacting to something no one else can see.
The way she jumps, fun. Oh my God, look, Jennifer. There's somebody right there, please. I got that. Oh my God, I got that.
Yeah, it's
See if
super
I can.
fast.
Babe, she was right there, baby. I saw her.
Oh, that one?
Hold on. I saw her playing, baby. Hold on.
If you look closely in the background, you'll notice something easy to miss. On the grass, a faint, ghost-like figure of a girl appears to be walking, before vanishing completely. The clip itself carries a strangely authentic feel. Nothing about it looks staged, and that sense of realism makes it all the more unsettling. So what exactly did Francisco capture that day? Were his dogs reacting to something paranormal? Perhaps the spirit of a girl wandering through the yard? Or is there another explanation we just can't see? Let me know what you think in the comments. Francisco's dogs may have sensed something invisible wandering through the yard. But what happens when the strange presence isn't outside, but right inside your own home? That's exactly what one woman discovered. And it left her shaken to the core. On TikTok, a woman named Sarah shared a video documenting a chilling experience in her home, one she felt compelled to film and show the world. It began on an ordinary night. Sarah was sitting on her couch watching TV when she was startled by a strange musical sound coming from another room. At first, she thought she must have imagined it, but the noise continued. Curious and unnerved, she paused the TV and opened her phone camera, determined to capture whatever was happening.
My daughter's been asleep for 2 hours. She's all the way over there. How is this standing up perfectly upright and turned on? She can't reach that. Hi, baby. And she's dead asleep when that thing just came on. There's no way. I'm sorry, honey. I'm sorry.
A short while later, Sarah began recording a video for a group chat. And that's when something truly unsettling happened. An incident that shook her to the core.
We usually turn that machine on every night at bedtime. I didn't turn it on tonight. But that thing to be on, like if I were to... What the fuck was that? Okay, my whole body. No. What is that? Nope. Nope. I told you to get out. My heart monitor battery just drained. My sensor battery just drained. That's what's going off right now.
Out of nowhere, her heart monitor completely drained of power, leaving her stunned and frightened. For those who rely on such devices, this wasn't just creepy, it was dangerous. Viewers were quick to point out something else. Around the 39-second mark, many claim you can see what looks like a ghostly figure lingering in the shadows behind the door. Others argue it could just be a piece of furniture, an eerie illusion caused by lighting. So what do you think is really happening here? Is Sarah dealing with spirits from another dimension? Something powerful enough to drain her heart monitor and make itself seen in the shadows? Or is this all coincidence, strange timing, and a trick of the eye? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Technology draining, shadows lurking. Sarah's story shows how the supernatural can invade the quietest corners of our homes. But sometimes, it reaches beyond our walls, into places meant for laughter and innocence, like a playground. Playgrounds are meant to be places of joy, filled with laughter and the sounds of children at play. But in this first video, the setting becomes something far stranger. The clip in question was published to TikTok in January of 2025 by a woman named Nadia, who filmed a playground from the safety of her vehicle. At first glance, it looks ordinary. But within seconds, it becomes clear that something is very wrong. The footage shows a large children's swing moving violently back and forth, as if someone invisible was pushing it with force. Nadia can only record in shock and disbelief. What makes this even stranger is the stillness around it. The trees barely move, the air looks calm, and no wind seems to be present. If it wasn't the weather, then what could be causing this swing to move so powerfully, while the other swings remain completely still? Theories quickly surfaced online. Some say it must have been a ghostly entity drawn to the playground as though still trying to play long after life had ended. A spirit, perhaps, just looking for a little fun in the afterlife. But others worry. Was it really harmless? Or was this swing a warning, a sign that something much darker lingers near that playground? Swings moving on their own is enough to make you uneasy. But what happens when the figure itself appears? Not a toy in motion, but something shadowy and human-shaped, darting across a rainy street. This video, posted to TikTok by user Gima Pashra, captures what at first seems like nothing more than a busy street on a rainy day. It was filmed in West Java, Indonesia, near the elementary school SD Negarapoku. The sound of traffic, the slick pavement, the blur of passing vehicles. Everything feels ordinary, even mundane. But as with so many unsettling clips, the disturbing detail isn't obvious right away.
Bayangan di pojok kiri.
It's something you only notice if you look closer. On the left-hand side of the screen, a strange figure suddenly appears. It looks like a shadowy outline, rising from a crouched position and then darting forward along the building. The movement is unnerving, too fast, too fluid, and too strange to be easily explained. If you blink, you might miss it, but once you see it, you can't unsee it. The footage ends just seconds later, offering no context, no resolution, and no explanation. Viewers were quick to identify the location thanks to the signage visible in the shot, but beyond that, almost nothing is known. Who filmed it? Why were they recording at that particular moment? And most importantly, what exactly was that figure? Skeptics argue there may be a perfectly rational explanation. Low-quality cameras, especially in bad weather, can produce distortions. Rain and motion blur can cause people to appear translucent or unusually fast, and compression artifacts can make shadows behave in ways that feel unnatural. That could explain why the figure seems ghostly, or why it disappears so quickly. But for others, those explanations don't quite fit. The way the figure appears to rise up out of nowhere, almost from the ground itself, and then bolt away at such unnatural speed. It feels wrong. It doesn't move like a person. It doesn't carry the weight or the shape of someone running in the rain. Instead, it looks like something else. Something not bound by the same rules we are. It's details like these that make this short, grainy clip so haunting. Because even if it was just a glitch or a distortion, the mind begins to wander. What if it wasn't? What if, on that rainy day in West Java, the camera caught something not meant to be seen? And that's the question that lingers. Was this figure simply a trick of light and weather? Or did the lens capture a shadow person sprinting through the living world, only visible for a split second before fading back into whatever realm it came from? Strange figures appearing where they shouldn't, whether in the corner of your eye or sprinting across a camera feed. And while some are fleeting shadows, others are tied to folklore itself. Spirits with names, legends, and terrifying histories. Over on TikTok, a user named Raxi uploaded a video that quickly caught people's attention. It begins simply enough. Just someone filming security camera footage from an overnight recording in an undisclosed location. At first, nothing seems out of the ordinary. It looks like a standard surveillance clip, the kind you'd expect to be empty and uneventful. But then, the uploader zooms in, and what comes into focus is anything but ordinary.
Telah niki dek validasi saya. Apakah ada yang aneh?
Takjub ya?
Ya.
Kok Messi sih mendulung sih?
Jam 23.41.
Kalau motornya kayak Messi sih ya?
Medeni cah, iso nyuwata ya raine.
As the camera zooms all the way into a corner of the frame, a strange figure begins to take shape. What we see looks eerily similar to a pocong, a ghost from Indonesian and Malaysian folklore. According to legend, a pocong is the trapped soul of a person whose burial shroud was never properly untied. Wrapped entirely in white cloth, with only a pale or decayed face peeking through, it is said to hop or float, bound by its funerary wrappings. Sightings of pocong are often reported near graveyards or lonely roads, where they appear suddenly to terrify the living. Some stories claim they are restless spirits seeking release, while others describe them as malevolent presences that bring only fear. And when you look at this figure in the corner, the resemblance is unmistakable. But as with so many clips online, we can only speculate on its authenticity. Was this really a pocong caught on camera? Or is it something else entirely? Something staged, or something we don't yet understand? Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain. If Raxi's video really did capture a pocong, let's hope it was the last time they ever had to face it. Cultural legends can feel distant until you see one on your own screen. But the next video leaves folklore behind and takes us to something more grounded. An abandoned hospital where fear comes not from stories told, but from sounds and sights caught in real time. Explorer LLTTF, Paranormal and Urban Exploring, is a relatively obscure YouTube channel that focuses on exactly what their name suggests. It's honestly surprising that their channel isn't bigger than it is, because their videos are consistently chilling, and they often capture some genuinely impressive footage. Take for example a video published on September 18, 2020, where the crew explored a rundown, abandoned hospital. But this wasn't just any empty building. It seemed to be hiding something much darker. Throughout the video, the group can be seen moving carefully from room to room, documenting everything in hopes of capturing something unusual. And toward the end, they may have done exactly that.
Oh, hell no, dude. Told you, dude. I told you. This dude. Hell. No, dude.
In the final minutes, the crew's reaction to an object suddenly falling and shattering is startlingly genuine. Their voices carry real fear and confusion, far more authentic than what we usually hear in videos of this kind. Just moments later, clearly shaken, they decide to leave the hospital altogether. And honestly, that was probably the wisest choice they could have made.
Oh, hell no, dude. Oh, hell no, dude. Oh, hell no, dude.
Still, one unsettling question remains. What caused that object to fall in the first place? There were no open windows nearby, and none of the crew seemed to have touched or bumped into it.
I'm still freaked out over this, but that was like a loud crash and bang. and there was nobody in here. We seen 3 guys, but they went up the other way, and that was like an hour and a half, 2 hours ago. I know there was nobody in that basement.
Was it the result of something paranormal? Or was it simply a clever trick? An object pulled by a string, hidden just out of sight? What do you think really happened inside that hospital? Was it evidence of the supernatural, or something far easier to explain? Tell me your thoughts in the comments. In haunted places, people expect to find the paranormal. But what about in your own home, in the rooms you walk through every single day? For one woman, that question became all too real. That woman was Celsa Ann, who posted a video to her TikTok account on March 28, 2022. In the video, she explains that she had been hearing strange noises in her house, despite the fact that she was home alone, with only her dog for company. Wanting to make sure no intruder had broken in, she began filming as she moved through different areas of her home. What she captured, however, revealed an intruder of a different kind.
Okay, so I have been trying to catch this on video for at least 2 weeks now. I have been seeing things move. Everybody thinks I'm nuts. I know what I saw. There's nobody here. My doggy. Okay. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god! Okay. Oh my god, I told you. Okay.
Suddenly, one of the drawers in her house slides open all by itself. The moment it happens, Celsa lets out a terrified gasp, her fear unmistakable as the reality of the situation sinks in. She backs away, still filming, too afraid to get closer but unable to look away. For several tense moments, she continues recording the unmoving drawer, until something even stranger happens just moments later.
Oh my god! I'm not crazy.
Whatever is in that house makes itself known once again, pushing the encounter from unsettling to truly terrifying. Since posting the clip, Celsa has made no updates on the situation, and while we can only hope that silence means her life has returned to normal, the question lingers. What exactly was inside her home that night? Was it just a trick of the environment, or something far less human? Let's just hope that if it was something paranormal, it chooses not to intrude on her again. A drawer opening on its own is unsettling enough, but the next clip shows something far more physical, something crawling in the shadows, watching from a balcony where it had no business being. This next clip was posted to TikTok by an account known as Paranormal Declassified, and it might just make you think twice about ever living in a house with a balcony. The video begins innocently enough. A woman steps into frame, casually folding up towels that had been drying on a laundry rack. For a moment, everything appears completely normal. But just seconds after she finishes and walks away, something bone-chilling emerges in the shadows. If you look closely, you can spot it. What seems to be a strange, crawling figure moving on all fours across her balcony. It lifts its head slowly, almost as if searching for the woman who had just left. The brief glimpse is unsettling. The creature appears to have dark, sunken eyes and a thin, almost skeletal frame. But with much of its body concealed in the darkness, it's difficult to make out any further details. The questions this raises are disturbing. Was this truly some kind of otherworldly entity creeping silently across her balcony? Or is there a more rational explanation? Perhaps an animal distorted by shadows and low resolution? Whatever the answer may be, one thing is certain. The eerie, fleeting image of something crawling just outside her home has left viewers deeply unsettled. So, what do you think? Did this woman unknowingly capture a glimpse of something paranormal on her balcony? Or was it simply a trick of the dark? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. An unknown creature outside a balcony is enough to leave you shaken. But sometimes, the most terrifying figures appear in places we associate with healing. Hospitals, where the living and the dead can feel unbearably close. Reddit user The Captain's Chair posted an unusually compelling video to the Ghost subreddit, one that came with enough context to make it stand out as more than just another grainy paranormal clip. According to the uploader, they once worked night shifts at a prominent cancer hospital in Utah, where ghost stories were a constant topic among nurses and security guards. The video itself dates back to 2016 and had originally been shared privately among hospital staff before the uploader obtained a copy in 2020. The quality is rough, but the content is chilling.
She goes into the wall.
There's nothing there but there.
Oh my God.
In the footage, you can clearly see what looks like a woman seated in a wheelchair, draped in a hospital blanket, visible through a window in the hospital's parking garage. At first, it might not seem unusual, until you realize that the space she appears to be sitting in isn't a waiting area at all. It's a stairwell, which means this woman isn't seated on a floor. She's hovering above a set of stairs. The uploader shared what happened next, quoting, "When the guards on the night shift saw her disappear from view, they rushed outside, thinking she had leapt off the edge of the garage and killed herself. But when they got there, she was gone, without a trace. When they came back in and reviewed the footage, that's when they realized she was a ghost." And this wasn't the only story. According to staff, this spirit had been seen before, most often in rooms 24 through 26 of the bone marrow transplant unit. Nurses described her as always the same, seated in a wheelchair, silently gazing out at the city lights. And just like in the video, she would vanish the moment anyone got close. If this clip is authentic, it may be one of the most thought-provoking pieces of paranormal evidence to surface in recent memory. There's something profoundly unsettling about the way she lingers. Not screaming, not causing chaos, but simply existing in quiet silence, waiting to be noticed. So what do you think? Was this the spirit of a patient still tethered to the place where she spent her final days? Or was it nothing more than a strange reflection, perfectly timed to create the illusion of a ghost? Whatever the explanation, this one has left many people deeply unsettled. The silent figure in the wheelchair lingered in a stairwell, quiet and unexplainable. But in our next story, the silence is shattered by deafening bangs and the fleeting image of something running through a forgotten house. A YouTuber by the name of Miss Laura B uploaded a chilling video to her channel back in September of 2006, and ever since, it's continued to freak people out online. In the footage, we hear Laura narrating as she explores an abandoned, run-down house in Toronto. The building was rumored to be haunted, and Laura wasn't alone. She had a cameraman with her to document the experience. As they slowly moved from room to room, the house revealed its age. Peeling paint, broken fixtures, and the unmistakable atmosphere of a place long forgotten. So far, nothing out of the ordinary has happened. But then, everything changed in an instant.
Oh, there's even more damage, like now things are peeling off the walls. everything up here, I mean, it's just disgusting. I don't know what the hell's going on. Look at, there's holes in the walls up here. It's just, oh Jesus.
Out of nowhere, a deafening banging sound echoed through the house, startling both Laura and the cameraman. It seemed to come from somewhere deep inside the building. And if that wasn't unsettling enough, viewers who paid close attention noticed something else. In the frame, just for a moment, you can see what appears to be the faint outline of a ghostly girl running away, disappearing into the shadows. The sight raises disturbing questions. What could she have been fleeing from? Was she hiding from Laura and her cameraman? Or was there something far more sinister inside that house that even she was desperate to escape? Sadly, we'll likely never know the truth. But the chilling sound, paired with that fleeting glimpse of something otherworldly, makes this clip one of the most unsettling pieces of ghost footage still circulating today. A haunted house is one thing. You expect ghosts there. But what about your own home while recording a wholesome family moment? For one woman, that innocence was broken by something dark rushing past the camera. On February 21st, 2025, a woman named Amanda Marie uploaded a video to her TikTok account. At first, she thought she was capturing something wholesome, her young daughter speaking lovingly to Amanda's mother's ear, who had sadly passed away just a month earlier. But what started as a touching family moment quickly took a chilling turn. If you watch closely, you can see it. Some kind of dark, ghostly figure suddenly rushes past the camera. It moves so quickly that if you blink, you'll likely miss it. Amanda admitted she hadn't noticed it at first. It was only when she shared the video with her husband that he told her to look again. What she saw left her terrified. Amanda described it as the most frightening thing she had ever experienced. And watching the footage, it's not hard to see why. The figure is there, unmistakable, and its presence feels wrong, unnatural. So what would you do if you found yourself in Amanda's shoes? Sadly, there have been no updates since the video was posted. All we can hope is that whatever appeared that night has not returned to her home, or her family. A shadow figure caught in the corner is disturbing, but imagine hearing the voice of someone you love, someone you know isn't even there, calling to you from the other side of a door. This next video was posted to TikTok in June of 2024 by a woman named Kimberly, and if you're hoping to get a good night's sleep after this, I'd suggest looking away now. In the clip, Kimberly explains that her mother wasn't at home when the footage was recorded. She had gone out to drop something off at their local church. It may seem like a small detail, but it becomes very important for what's about to unfold. As the video begins, we see Kimberly sitting in her room, visibly tense, listening to a noise she says she's been hearing over and over again, coming from just outside her bedroom door.
¿Qué? ¿Qué? Sacándome las cejas. Sí.
At one point, she actually starts having a conversation with the voice outside. The problem? That voice sounds exactly like her mother. But as we already know, her mother wasn't there. In mounting fear, Kimberly grabs the closest object she can find, a pair of scissors, ready to defend herself in case whatever was outside tried to force its way in. Many who watch the video believe Kimberly may have come face to face with what's known as a mimic, a type of entity that takes on familiar voices to lure its victims into a false sense of safety.
So I texted her and she called me because she's over there at the church, and
I didn't answer because I was in the restroom, but she was like, Monday, like, what happened? So I told her if she was the one who knocked at my door, and she said no, and I just put okay. So that's what happened. I don't know what happened. I'm confused.
Kimberly later posted this update, sharing text message proof that her mother had indeed been at church the entire time the voice was speaking to her through the door. This video left viewers shaken, and for good reason. It's a chilling reminder that, in a world as strange and twisted as ours, not everything can be trusted, not even the voice of your own mother. Now that was all for today, folks. If you enjoyed these horrifying clips, click to see more on the video on screen.